Why should I prepare food for you? You're not my bloodline. I don't even call you family. Don't get too comfortable with me. Why are you even here in this house first place? Can you leave us alone?
Awkwardness filled the living room of the parents-in-law's house. My mother-in-law, who humiliated me every time we saw each other, was a big pain in the neck. But one day, he was walking through a forest when he saw a beautiful woman sitting under a tree. She had long hair that shone in the sunlight, and she was so lovely that he could not take his eyes off her.
Mommy, oh my God, it's Grandma.
What happened?
My blood drained from my face when my panic-stricken daughter told me what happened. My name is Amelia. I married my husband, Peter, when I was 29 and gave birth to my daughter, Olivia. I quit my job upon marriage and have housewife. I'm 39 now and my happy family of in a rented apartment. I lead a fulfilling life, but there is still a problem. That are Judy, Peter's mother. Her behavior towards me has been a constant source of headaches. Frankly speaking, she has been bull. She told me herself that she sees me as the wife of her son. Although she did not outwardly oppose our marriage, I've been snubbed for various reasons from the very beginning. She used to show up unannounced, force herself inside the house, and complain about the way I did the housework and the taste of my cooking. Before I became pregnant with Olivia, my husband made unreasonable demands that I have a boy. Then she would bring her worn-out clothes to me, saying, "They look great on you." She even sent me half-rotten vegetables cod without my permission. In short, she has done pretty much that most people would call baiting. What keeps me sane is that Peter and are always on my side. Whenever Peter finds me being bullied by Judy, he always intervenes. Olivia tells her, "I don't like it when you talk ill of my mom." When Judy talks about her, when I go to my in-laws' house, she always says something sarcastic about me, even if it's just my father-in-law. Every time he scolds her not to say things, she never minded and continued to do so as if it was part of her daily routine. One day, Olivia came home from school with a gloomy look on her face. Normally, she cheerfully shouted home at the front door, but today she was silent.
Hey, sweetie, you're home. What, SY, something happened? Are you sick?
Hey, Mom, everything is good.
She brushed it off, but continued to think deeply about it. She was always smiling and cheerful, bothered me very much. I knew she was at a sensitive age or wanted to pester her, but I couldn't just let it go. Peter had to work late that day, so going to be just the two of us at dinner. I thought she would talk to me then. When she was slowly eating her bowl of pasta and cheese, I started the conversation.
I'm worried about you. When you say you're okay, it's often a case. You'll never tell anyone and won't get. No matter what happens, I'm always side. Can you tell me what happened?
She put down the fork and remained a while. Then she made up her mind and opened her mouth. She began to explain, as an articulate 10-year-old could. She went to play with her friend at house, which was a 15-minute drive after school. She sometimes went there, and her friend's mom drove her back afterward. On the way home, when the car stopped at a traffic light, she saw Judy walking arm in arm with a young man she didn't know. She even saw them kissing. As soon as she realized it was her grandmother, she ducked down not to. I couldn't believe my ears at the CC unexpected story. The idea of her being affectionate, another man in plain sight, close to lived, was so abominable. It must have been traumatic for a 10-year-old to witness such a scene. I soothed her and suggested an aromatherapy bath. In the meantime, I went to the store and bought her favorite ice cream. Normally, I would not give her sweet bed, but it was unlike any other day. She had been looking gloomy for quite some time, but when she saw the package, she cheered up a bit. By the time she finished reading it, she was almost back to her normal self. Still, I knew her innocent heart was. I told myself to keep a close eye for a while. Then, Peter came home, tired from work, about half an hour after Olivia had gone. I thought it was cruel to tell him that his mother was having an affair with a man, but I couldn't keep it from him. I told him exactly what Olivia had. He was enjoying his beer in the live, but when he heard the story, he covered his mouth with one hand and ran to the kitchen. He came back with wobbly steps and weakly, seriously. I could feel his pain and disgust. When he calmed down, we discussed of,
What are we going to do about it? Shouldn't we let Brian know?
Well, we can't just leave it like, if we are to tell him, we need to G evidence. I worry that she would make excuses, only have Olivia's story.
I agreed with him. We decided to hire a private investigator to look into Judy's infidelity. I was impressed by the work of a professional. The investigator gathered the evidence in no time after I requested them. There was a picture of Judy, dressed inappropriately, of her age, embracing a young man. It was a sight I didn't want to see, but I had no choice but to confirm it. The investigator also found that the young man was not guilty of any wrongdoing. He was an active college student who dated older women. Judy had been contributing a considerable amount of money to him. There was also a photo of them entering a designer's brand boutique. It didn't look like adultery, but Ra was being swindled by the young man. Anyway, there was no doubt in my mind that she must have been aware that it was on her part. We got concrete evidence to trap her in. We weren't going to let her get away. The only thing left was when to tell. While Peter and I were waiting for moment, Judy called him, asking him to over on the weekend. That was great timing. If I went there, she would most likely bully me. I was certain of that from my experiences. If they were the case, I could expose everything then. Who would be laughing in the end? The weekend had arrived. I was usually depressed about visit, but I couldn't wait to see her that. I could finally reveal her misdeeds. While I was imagining this and that, I arrived at my in-laws. As soon as we parked the car, Judy front door with a smile on her face.
Oh, you're here. Hi, Peter and Cyril, welcome. I've prepared a delicious lunch and waiting for you. Come on in.
As I had expected, her bullying stopped. She acted as if I were not there. She turned her back on me and didn't contact me again. Even though I was annoyed with her, I tried to think that it wasn't a big deal and calm myself down. Peter was about to say something too. I stopped him. We needed to be patient. It was better to let her carry on than knock her down. When we were in the living room, Brian was sitting on the sofa, watching TV.
Oh, Amelia, Olivia, and Peter, well done. Nothing exciting here, but make your home.
He always called my name first. It might have been nothing to him, but he always made me very happy. As I exchanged greetings with him, happily said,
We got a delivery for lunch. Come eat together. I'm sure the food is delicious.
She laid out the plates on the dining table. The lunch was food. There was a papaya salad, pad thai, curry, tom yum soup, and so on. They sure looked delicious, but I was allergic to coriander. Judy, of course, knew that.
You know, Judy, I'm allergic to core, right? I am sorry, but I can't eat most of.
She replied, I know that. I dismissed. Then words began to pour from her, though a dam inside her had broken.
I don't need you to tell me what you're allergic to. I didn't count you in for lunch, did I? My family is only 4 of us, Brian, Olivia, and me. Why are you even here? I invited Peter and Olivia to come. What an inconsiderate person you are.
She was unstoppable.
Let me make this clear, Amelia. You should be ashamed of yourself for being such a half-hearted housewife who does not do any housework and sits idle all day long. You shouldn't just take advantage one hardworking Peter. I mean, you don't work and you don't do any housework. What do you do all day every day? Are you having an affair with my son? Who knows?
Me? Having an affair? Who was talk? Peter, who was standing next to me, a groan of dismay. Well, it was about time. I couldn't believe she brought up the subject herself. I asked Peter if I could bring it up. He nodded enthusiastically. Not only had she been nasty to me, had traumatized Olivia, I was going to make her pay for all. I took out the photo evidence from handed it not to Judy, but to Brian. They looked at the pictures in confidence. At first, both of them seemed not to understand what they were looking at. Soon as they realized, their faces color. Brian's turned red and Judy's turned. I was amazed by the contrast.
What are these?
As you can see, Judy is having an affair with this young man. Olivia saw them together. She suspected me of having an affair, but I think she was just talking about her own.
No, that's not true. I'm not having an affair with Justin. It's purely a business relationship.
Judy was so panicked that she blurted out a young man's name. Brian got angrier and shouted, "Who's Justin?"
I heard you bought a lot of things. A total of around 10,000 people think it's more like a couple of thousands. You're a housewife too. So where did that money come from? It can't be the money, Brian. You have earned it. Oh, you're so bad. You shouldn't take advantage of his kindness.
I took the opportunity to press hard. Judy was horrified, and even though was moving, no words came out of it. She probably never thought that I would back to her.
Mom, Dad's been so good to you, why do you have to cheat on him? I'm ashamed of you for not only bullying Amelia, but doing unspeakable things to her back.
You don't love Grandpa. I feel sorry for him. I don't like you, Grandma.
Peter and Olivia also blame her for their son's death.
I knew something was fishy. You've been sneaking out day and night lately. I checked the bank account and found that there had been a series of small withdrawals. I never thought that you were having an affair with such a young man.
Brian shook his head in disbelief. Pushed to the edge, Judy somehow reeled and lifted her chin in defiance.
What I do is none of your business. I will live my life the way I want to.
Brian erupted in anger at her attitude, shouting at her to get out of his house. His fury didn't subside after that. Two ended up filing for a divorce. Judy had no income, and no savings could no longer contribute to her Justin. He simply abandoned her. How did I find out? Judy told me herself. She was so desperate that she turned and stormed into our house. She hoped that we sympathized with, knew her devastation.
I only have you to rely on, Peter. I can't get in touch with Justin any. Please, I apologize to you too, Amelia.
I don't trust you anymore. Why don't you just live your life the way you want to, like you said before? Not business.
Of course, we had no sympathy for her. I would never forgive her for trauma, Olivia. Eventually, we called the police to her. Brian had been telling all his relatives that Judy had an affair with someone, or that she was bullying me, so I couldn't relate to her. I heard that she was living alone in an apartment and still paying all her bills on time. She has truly brought this on herself. On the other hand, Brian decided to with us since he became alone. He's better with children than I am. He takes Olivia to various places on weekends. Olivia also enjoys hanging out with her friends, who seem to be gradually forgetting about her. Furthermore, he is helping me with housework, saying he feels bad for rent-free. In the beginning, I had to teach him step by step. Now he can do everything by himself, cooks dinner for us. Thanks to him, I am able to work part-time. It took me a while to get used to, after a long break, but I enjoy being back at home. I'm even thinking about getting a certification in something. Since Brian has moved in with us, I feel that the quality of our life is improving. He protected me when Judy bullied me and is still supporting me in many ways. Judy was truly an idiot to betray such a good man. I learned from her mistake not to indulge in immediate greed and to be grateful for the happiness I have now.